morning. It's been a while since I got behind the wheel of Volvos, and of course Volvo now has their full lineup refreshed. More technology, new engines, new options. Now of course this is no longer a new car, right? And in fact, ever since this was launched, the new X3 arrived, the X4, and of course Mercedes refreshed their lineup as well, the GLC. But the GLC is still platform-wise the oldest amongst the trio. So this is the XC60 B5, okay? And the first thing is that it undercuts every single competitor in terms of pricing, because it only starts at 290. As you know, let me talk about this a little bit. Usually the 3 Series and C-Class and the A4 segment, they will occupy the price point until about 300,000. Alright? And from 300,000 onwards to 400,000, it will be the job or the task of their similar segment SUV brothers, right? That price gap, that void, is filled up by this segment, the GLC, the X3, and of course this one, the XC60. I mean, Audi is in Malaysia, so I think Malaysia is the only country where Porsche outsells Audi, right? Anyway, so how does it drive? First thing, I don't think there is the sports or comfort mode anymore. It is now a passive system, so we used to be able to change that, but that was granted. Before this, the main focus for Volvo Malaysia would be the T8 models, the plug-in hybrid models. Why? Because Volvo is the oldest car maker in Malaysia. Alright, they set up way before Proton, and Volvo consistently has been the only luxury car maker in Malaysia that focuses on exports. That means Volvo actually helps Malaysia earn money by exporting the cars, by setting up factories here to export cars, not just to circumnavigate our tax structure like their peers are doing. Alright, so Volvo was given a preferential treatment in a way, alright? But this has come to an end, and now a lot of car makers have set up their shops here. They all have their local assembly. Anyway, that's another story. Alright, so before this, it's all T8, 407 horsepower, 640 Newton meters of torque, plug-in hybrid, a powerhouse, basically faster than a 3-liter Porsche Macan, alright, in a way. But they also, for stopgaps, they brought in the T5, which makes 252 horsepower, 2-liter turbocharged. There's no T6 in Malaysia because T6 will be more expensive than T8 in a way. But now, after the whole rationalization, this is now what it is, alright? The facelifted new XC60, where the specifications and the engine choices has to be optimized. What do I mean by optimized? Because when you no longer enjoy the tax rebates, now the tax rebates are given to electric cars, right? As an ICE car, as a plug-in hybrid, you no longer enjoy the rebates. You have to strategize your way, and this is what they came up with, alright? So this is, last time we called it T5. Why is this called B5 now? It comes with a 48 volt mild hybrid system. So basically, it is not a hybrid in the sense whereby it has a huge battery to replace the internal combustion engine. No, it was not meant for that. This 48 volt system helps the car when it uses the most fuel. Say for example, when you start the car in the morning, right? When you start this car, you will notice that there is no cranking. Now, it is not a plug-in hybrid where it can go in EV mode, full EV mode first. It is not an EV, of course. So no matter how it needs to start its engine, but different to the usual T5 engine, or in Mercedes speak, 200 or 300 or 43, or in BMWs, you know, the 320i, the 30i's, 40i's, all this, right? In that respect, all those cars need to crank their engines when they start, you know. You know, this one doesn't. This one just zoom, just goes alive because of the 48 volt system. A similar experience is in the Mercedes E53 AMG, alright? And of course, more cars down the road will all be 48 volt system powered, okay? And what it does is also when you stop the car, when during start-stop operations, I don't think you can kill off start-stop now. Oh, it has totally changed. Oh, okay. Let me study that more. Okay, so where was I? Anyway, this is a plug-in hybrid. See, the engine started. Just now it killed off. Now it starts back. Alright, and I can't feel a thing. And I noticed that the graphics are higher resolution now. And this is of course Google. Google powers all Volvo now. Basically, the in-car systems are Google Android based. Alright, let's see how good is that later on. And first of all, how does it drive? Engine sounds very familiar. The familiar Volvo 2-liter 4-pot engine sound. Suspension, they made it soft just to be comfortable, to iron out bumps and all that. And let's go for a speed bump. There is quite a bit of it's not a reverberation, basically secondary, you know, suspension reactions. Alright, yeah. Both GLC and X3 is distinctly quieter because I'm not even revving the engine. I'm just climbing up a hill, right? But I can hear the distant revving of the engine. Not annoying, but in this segment, in this class, in this price point that is close to 300k, yeah, things have gotten quieter amongst the competition. Certainly quieter, alright? Suspension is comfortable, but it's bordering wallowy. Okay, it's bordering wallowy. Basically, you want the suspension to absorb after the first compression. You want it to absorb after the first compression and then stable down. Usually you wouldn't want secondary or third degree bounces, alright? And it sort of does that a little. Okay, now to uneven roads. Very good, but also very good because it's a new car. Do know that, alright? But the good thing is that since 2014, we have never heard catastrophic failures of Volvo mechanicals. That means you don't see plenty of like XC90s with their suspension sunken, just like, you know, S-classes of yore. And then we don't hear transmission breakdowns. The transmission has been bulletproof so far in terms of record, but that also helps. I mean, when they source their transmission from Aisin, which is a Toyota subsidiary, alright? So the new generation Volvos, we haven't heard catastrophic engine failures, transmission failures, or, you know, unreliable like drive shafts, long shafts, or tie rods and all that. We don't hear all that. Alright, so in terms of reliability wise, they are perfectly fine. In terms of high-speed cruising and all that, the new Volvos, they all handle really well. It is a world of difference compared to previous generation Volvos, right? Because what I heard, the new guy who was in charge of Volvo's drive and handling was an ex-Porsche race car guy. So there we know. Alright, let's look through the details and see what have we got here for 290,000. Okay, I certainly see a lot of trim level, you can call it cut downs, or you can call it optimization in a nicer word. Okay, but let's see how all this puts up. Okay. All right, first up. Okay. First up, this, as an ex-Volvo owner, in fact, I own two XC90s. All right, this graphics is way crispier. It is very, very high resolution. Okay, and the maps are updated live. So when you're driving around, you see the map turning its direction around you. Okay, the graphics are all new. I haven't explored everything yet, but so far it's very clear. All right, the graphics are really, really clear, and I don't see a lot of customization options so far. Okay, and over here we see the 360 camera. Volvo's 360 execution renders a very wide capture of this surrounding. All right, pretty easy to understand. Can I rotate it around like BMWs? You know, look around, render? No, I can't. All right, so people would expect that, you know, if they see something like that from certain car makers, they would expect other car makers to also catch up. Okay. Oh, that's the camera. So that's quick view. There's two buttons on the side. So I see maps, Bluetooth media player. So this is straight up icon based, and I see Google icons everywhere in there. Can I still customize it? I can move them around. Oops, how do I go back? How do I go out of this? Do I press this? I can't move this, so this is fixed down here. These are not. You can move these, and that's maps, Google Maps. So we're all very familiar with Google Maps already, right? So in terms of usability, I think this is straight up immediately the easiest, and I think it's the only car out there where the standard navigation is actually Google Maps, which makes it a lot more usable compared to others, because we, at the back of our head, we know that Google Maps can basically find anything, right? So it's, you see, Evo Club Car Wash, Evo Club Tri-Stations, Evo Club Clubhouse. So Tri-Stations is where we go every morning, all right, to meet up and drive, right? So yeah, so I think now this is the one of the car whereby when you go in the car, you don't even need to hook up your phone to use your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, because you see, when you use your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, right, you need to make sure your phone is charged, and charged in a way whereby the charge rate matches up to your use rate, or if better, a fast charging. All right, if not, your phone will just draw battery. By being able to not use your phone, to just use the Google systems here, you have the comfort of knowing that when you reach your destination, you're not left with like 60% on your phone, which is a real problem. Okay, now these gloss blacks, they didn't change much, you know, it's the same. This beautiful aircon vents, which the patent holder is actually one of Volvo's designer, Jonathan Disley. He owned the patent of this, and Volvo car maker licensed his patent from him, even though he's a employee of Volvo. Amazing, right? The neural patterns on this doesn't change, still feels really good. But one thing, okay, this one sounds a little bit looser than the previous generation. Of course, one thing I miss is the quick access of swiping to the left and operate stuff, swiping to the right to operate stuff. I guess that's gone now. All right, all we can do is press this, but it's very easy. All right, I just need to know where do I select stuffs to turn on or off. You know, our cars, we have like wait, all the stuff that we use to go in to turn. Oh, seriously, Seriously. Off-road mode, adjust here. Steering feel firm, adjust here to make it feel firmer. Alright. Steering assist, lane keep assist. Okay. So now it's a little bit more complicated. Not little bit. We used to be able to just swipe and then we look at the icons, lane keep assist, lane departure and all that, and then we just press it to turn on and off. Now you have to press the gear icon and then go into driving, and then from here you turn on and off. Just one more step, but you need to read basically. Alright, seat optimization, all this. Okay, yep, profiles, applications, all this. So now instead of swiping, you just press this to go in there, and then instead of swiping to go to your apps, you just press this app button. So it's in a way still the same, left or right, it's just that it's like that. Okay, for aircon controls, you press this, come up, newer graphics. Alright, automatic, what do I do here? Okay, anyway, I think this is easily understandable and straightforward enough. Circulation, all this is adjusted here. Alright, so yeah, and Volvo is one of the systems whereby you can wear a glove and operate it. Alright, a lot of systems are capacitive. Volvo is not. It uses infrared sensing, so that's why the screen has to be sunken in. Alright, but there's a benefit to that. When you wear gloves, you can still operate it. Alright, coming here, you see this. It's not the first time we've seen this design. In any measure, this is a very nice looking gear knob, but in Volvo, because we know they have those Aurora crystals, so this is actually the cheaper version. So the cheaper version of Volvo's gear knob looks like the expensive version of other car makers' gear knob. Alright, very nice, very nice. Satin chrome in the middle, and supposedly leather wrap, but in this version it's not. This is because this is the T5. A lot of materials that I see from here to here to here to here, all these are injection polyurethane, that kind of soft touch material. Alright, the quality, the fit and finish is alright. Okay, yeah, it's alright, but it's not industry leading kind of fit and finish. Alright, I think it matches Mercedes-Benz in a way in terms of fit and finish. Audi is of course a step ahead, and the Kia Carnival. Anyway, in the T8, okay, in the XC90, this part is leather wrap, but in this one it's not. What that means is that if you would like to change your leather seats, you can go to any of those suppliers to wrap this as well, but no one would do that for a brand new car. Okay, given that, okay, this remains the same. Okay, in terms of space, there's two USB-C ports there. Alright, handbrake, auto hold. This one slides to the back with the cup holders, and here now they put a wireless charger. This is an interesting story. When Volvo first came out with this design, right, they never thought of putting the wireless charging pad here. Alright, but a lot of third-party makers, they put a 12-volt socket over here, and a lot of third-party makers of all these electronic gizmos from China, they actually created a wireless charging that beautifully slots into the 12-volt socket and replaces this part where you can close this, and you still can close this with the wireless charging pad here to charge your phone. Many of us Volvo owners bought it, and it's good that Volvo actually did it as well. Nice, because this is just nice to hold your phone in place, and the orientation of the phone, given that it lies like that, you can still see stuffs on it if you're using Google Maps or whatnot. Alright, anyway, now we have it over here. Now come to the steering. Materials are a little bit different, but it's alright. The T5 has always been matte plastic, whereas the T8 was gloss black. Okay, one of the nicer steering wheels out there, and the gear stocks are really nice to operate and hold and use. Okay, also really good. And here we have the steel brush metal inlay, which is really nice because it's just right next to the aircon vents, right? They feel cold all the time. It feels really good. Even the Harman Kardon speakers here, enclosure, you know, steel, basically laser milled, you know, it's really nice and detailed and feels really good. Certainly better than Burmester, whereby it feels sharp to the finger. This one doesn't. Okay. Now you don't get top class, you don't get top grade leather in this segment or in this price point, because this is not the top of the range, right? So these leather, we see them in, like, you know, BMW 330Es, F30 generation, you know, we see them in the Mercedes E200 as well. All right, materials, fit and finish off, still feels really good. This door opening handle also is really nice. The whole thing is metal, it feels really good to the touch. All right, lock and unlock buttons are here, memory seats are here. This one, right, premium car should do it this way, you know, with the lights here, and it's diffused lighting, so it doesn't, you know, strike you, and it provides a very warm and soft light, which is what we wanted in a premium car. Okay, all right, there are no sunroofs or panoramic roofs here in this T5, and then this one has been changed. This has been changed, you know, touch sensitive now. I mean, a little bit classy. And this one is frameless still, very nice. And of course, Volvo's IntelliSafe, the whole thing is here. All right, and it uses a lot of voice recognition now because we have Google Assistant, so a lot of microphones are needed to correctly capture what we say. All right, so in terms of door panels, in terms of inlays and all that, I would really recommend people to buy this car with a different leather color if the option is there. Now the seats are still great, industry leading, some of the best seats out there, and properly leather wrapped, stitching is good, the fitment, everything is really good. All right, some people prefer this grain, some people don't like the Napa is very soft, and Napa leather, if you're using your car a bit rough, right, very quickly you will stretch the leather and you see wrinkle marks. You know, these ones, they hold really well. Okay, they stand, they because they're thicker, you know, rougher. Let's go to the back seats. Oh, before that, I like the door bins. I always say, car makers, please design door bins that are full length. You know, some I don't know why they like to like put a little small hole here and then cover up this part, and it's just this is way better. Okay, and this doesn't fall through, which is really nice, so you can put your smart tag, your wallets, everything you can put here because it doesn't pass through. Okay, coming here, look at the seat angle. Not many car seats can angle it that way. Not many. When you are able to angle it this way, right, you are separating the load not just from your bum, but when you angle it up, you are spreading the load all the way from your bum to your thigh. And with that little slanted angle, your back also helps to relieve. Basically, if you sit on a flat surface like that, all right, most seats, a lot of seats, they are just flat, right? They can just move up and front like that, right? All your weight is supported by your bum, and that makes your bum a bit, you know, sore after a while. I mean, Volvo knows their stuff because their seats are all designed by what do you call that? What do you call that? Those experts with bones and all that. I forgot the term, sorry. Right, the floor mats click in, very nice, holds in place, proper full-size footrest. All right, a proper footrest like this is important for comfortable driving, long distance, or you know, whatnot. All right, that's really good. Let's come to the rear seats. I'm in my driving position. Now the seats are raised on this platform, and between this, basically the rail to the base of the rear seats, I cannot fit my size 11.5 feet. Okay, my feet is size 11.5. These shoes are 11, so I couldn't. So there's no way for me to properly place my, but not everybody has such large feet. All right, if not, it's comfortable to be able to slot my feet underneath, even though I'm on the lowest setting. I'm sitting the lowest already. All right, so that's very good, but this is clearly, I mean, for this segment. All right, and so middle passengers won't be able to place their feet here. They have to cross their feet over. So when you sit more people, everybody needs to adjust a little bit if you're my size. All right, let's turn around. I am 5'11". So I have like a palm of headroom. Visibility is fantastic. Doesn't feel claustrophobic at all. And Volvo actually spend the extra money to actually route the air conditioning not through here, which is alright, but basically it blows out at a very low angle. This is the proper place to route air conditioning, you know. So Volvo did this even for this segment. This is XC60, this is not 90, alright? So that's really good. This is the proper place to route air conditioning to the rear passengers. Alright, now one thing we all love about Volvo is doing things that they know they should do, but other car makers don't do. Alright, when you have kids and they sit in your back seats, alright, their head is about here, and when you pull the seat belts, the seatbelt actually cross over their neck, which is dangerous. You know, if when in an accident, it's dangerous, right? The action itself, of course, I mean, as long as you are belted, you are safe. But Volvo have this booster seats built into the rear seat so that your kids can sit on top. They have a better view out of the window, and the seatbelt doesn't cross over their neck, instead cross over properly through their shoulder and their chest. All right, spreading the load. And yeah, and I don't think Volvo would sue anybody if they come up with something like that, you know, other car makers, because technically Volvo invented seatbelts and gave the patent to everybody because they know it's good. All right, back here you have, you see, proper armrest. You don't even get a proper armrest in a Porsche Cayenne, right? This is proper. You get your cup holders, you get a little tray, you get a compartment to store your stuff. No USB though, so Mazda still did it better. Mazda placed USB ports here, carpeted it, cup holders and all that. But a lot of car makers just give you one giant cushion with two holes there. Those are cost cutting, okay? And here we have this pass-through. I don't know where's the button, or was it from the rear? It could be from behind. Okay, this is for when you buy long objects. Let's say you buy a mop or something, or a really long, I don't know, ski or something, you know, you can have this pass through and then your objects can actually load through here. All right, that's good. Tonneau cover, I see the rail over there. Attention to detail again. Let me go to that later on. The seats are very comfortable, very comfortable. The ISOFIX covers, they don't fall out, they just fold up. But these plastics, you know, over time, rough use, they may break, but still it's better than like Audi and Merc and all. I think BM as well. Now you remove the whole thing and then you need to find some place to store them, and then you lost them eventually. All right, nets, I'm surprised, given a premium car like this nowadays, they a lot of them put a proper cover in that way, right? But in a way, net also helps you to, you can see your stuff, what your kids put there, instead of being hidden behind like a panel and all that. So no matter how, these over time they will like droop a bit. Okay, there is there are two USB-C ports here. Not bad, not stingy. Two here, two there, so that's good enough. All right, let's go to, okay, let me show you the visibility. This is my eye level. This is my eye level sitting at the back here. So good enough. Okay, let's go to the boot. Ingress and egress is pretty easy, but the door opening is not wide enough. The door could have had a more 80 or 90 degree opening. This is like 70 plus, I don't know. It should go with a 90 degree opening, then it's a lot easier for people to go up and down. A lot of people actually buy this kind of cars as their main family car, and they will eventually ferry their old folks and all that. This opening isn't that wide, to be honest. Okay, now let's open the boot and have a look. Powered boot, of course, and like previous Volvos, they designed this extra mechanism here. You push this a little bit, it will slide up so that it's easy for you to hold your things, instead of pulling out the whole tonneau cover and retract the entire thing. Alright, so you get a big net over here, travel socket over here, a hook over here, another hook over here, very convenient. And then you press this, pull it up, and then you have a compartment inside here, and then this little strap is for you to hook it up here. See, some car makers thought of everything, some car makers just leave it like that. All right, that I'm not sure what's that. Maybe it's the, I don't know, the super capacitor or the extra battery for the 48 volt. I'm not sure. All right, tire kits and all that, extra storage. What else goes on inside here? Yeah, the battery. All right, so that's the rear. And I don't recall if they have that panel that splits luggage, which is something that Volvo does. All right, the back. Yep, let's look at the exterior of the car. All right, still handsome looking, still very, very handsome looking. They updated the front part, you know, and the grills are black for this variant. It's a B5 Momentum, so it's base spec. Rims look pretty good. Pirelli tires. Still a handsome car, very, very handsome car. All right, there we go. P0, front to rear, B5 all-wheel drive. All right. Still a handsome car. Car key, yeah, car key. But this is Momentum life. If you buy Momentum, you don't get your keys covered in the leather choice of your seat, which I think is a differentiation to push people to buy the T8. T8, if you spec brown, your keys will be covered in brown leather, right? If it's blue, it's blue. If it's beige, it's beige, which is a nice thing, but I kind of hope that Volvo actually does it for all their cars. But anyway, that's a specification for those who bought the top range. So 290,000. So this is for those who are, you know, they have this budget below 300k or maximum 300k, and they're looking at the sedans. And obviously the sedans wouldn't be as family friendly as these. Obviously these wouldn't drive as well as the sedans when you go for mountain road driving, but obviously these will be better than sedans on everyday driving, because I don't even need to worry about curbs and all that, parking, all these little things, right? I can just go over them. I have less stress, and given the fact that this is a passive suspension system, I have even lesser stress. You know, this is not like some air suspension where I need to, you know, tread it carefully, you know, in case it incurs expensive repair costs and all that. I just ride over it. I think the balancing act here, the suspension could have been a little bit better. Case in point, Volkswagen Passat suspension or Tiguan suspension. Volkswagens are really good with their suspension. Ford S-Max and all that. This one is not bad, but I would say, in the sense that Mazda's suspension is a bit sportier, where they, you know, forego a little bit of comfort. This is a little bit comfort, forego a little bit of sporty, instead of striking the perfect balance. Okay, small gripe, not a deal breaker, but this then comes to this. If you want a B5 only with a mild hybrid, you are not having a hybrid car, right? A hybrid car, you know the big battery is in the middle, you know those batteries have a limited lifespan, but I think most people, easily these cars will last 8 years, 10 years, right? No problem. There's a lot of XC90s running around already to their 8th year. You know, the first batch of buyers, they're all right, but a lot of XC90 owners of those also sold off their car after 4 years like that, and then they buy another XC90. All right, so yeah, that's the thing. So for me, I would of course go for the one which is 350,000 with the T8 powertrain, plug-in hybrid, with the Bowers and Wilkins sound system, with panoramic roof, with a lot of stuff. I would actually go for that. But if you set your fixed budget to 300,000, it is this against the likes of, let's say the other day, the Mercedes C200, you know, which apart from a big screen, pretty much nothing much. It's just a regular, you know, premium sedan. All right, or this is a premium SUV, and this one, the price undercuts the X3, the GLC, and of course the Range Rover Evoques and the likes. All right, so yep, that's my review. Driving dynamics, let's change it to firm steering wheel. Off-road mode, what does off-road mode does? Can I full accelerate? I still can, but it forces all the power to go through the four-wheel drive system, maybe? Provide power equally to all four wheels. It's a nice driving car, but I kind of wish that, you know, it comes with the basic features that customers are accustomed to. Let's say you, as Volvo, you want to grab customers from Mercedes-Benz, from BMW, you know, they've owned one, they want to try something different. Give them the things that they are used to. Case in point, the pedal shifters. At least the pedal shifters, you know. Because a lot of, see the 48 volt system, right? It kicked in, killed off the engine immediately, and then even when it starts back, there's no indication. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people are already accustomed to the fact that, oh, my previous car, which was a cheaper car, doesn't have pedal shifters, but then my newer car, which is a more expensive car, actually has pedal shifters. The fact that now even Mazdas, you know, Hondas and Toyotas and all this, they come with pedal shifters, right? It doesn't make sense for a premium car maker to not put it in. You know, just leave it there, just leave it there. Whether people use it or not, just leave it there. Just not have the option to remove pedal shifters. That is like the basic now, okay? So other than that, you have to understand what you're going for. This is almost 60,000 lower than the T8, and obviously there are things that are different, specs as well, trim as well. Basically, the things that are absent in this car over the T8 is way more than 60,000. So that's why I felt just go for the T8. Just go for the T8. You get to experience how the car feels when it is fully in EV mode, you know. You get a lot more features, you get the sound system that is unbeaten in the industry, you get all that. For what other car makers charge for their regular SUV for this segment. Alright? But this one is a bargain because it is the cheapest of all. It is the cheapest of all. Alright, for its segment, for its size. This is the most affordable one. I mean, if you count in the Harrier, which I really think the Harrier is a competitor as well, right, then the Harrier will be more affordable. For if not, this is what Lexus charge. No, this is cheaper. This car is more affordable than what Lexus charge for the UX. Okay? Yeah. And if I see UX running around, there's no reason this shouldn't run around. Alright? Cheers!